let those notifications go out. And I'm going to go ahead and give y'all a disclaimer. Uh, Today, it's been a little bit noisier outside. Uh, it's funny because I had this topic picked out, okay, how I talk about the demon that can't stay, they can't stay quiet for long when chosen ones arrive. They just can't. Remember, because, you know, how when we come around, all of a sudden the narcissist, they don't know how to act when they can't get an emotional read on us. Uh, yeah. And so they can't stay quiet for long. No, they can't. It's like, when you come on the scene, and let's say you stay in a hotel, the first 2 to 3 days, okay, but then usually somewhere toward the end of the third day, into the fourth day, that's when, yeah, they can't help themselves. They can't help themselves. But there's also those who are just plain noisy when they check in. I can hear it in the bathroom. I don't know what they dropping, but they dropping stuff. And I'm guessing they just checked in on the other side over there or upstairs, which have you. But anyhow, they loud. They very loud. They probably don't know that I could hear them just fine. Okay, so anyhow, but as far as other things, chosen one, that's the thing. Demons cannot stay quiet when chosen ones arrive. They just can't. They can't help it. They've got that demon of impulsivity, right? Yeah. And then not only that, they can't handle silence. That's something we've come to learn about narcissists. They cannot handle peace and quiet for long at all. They don't like peace whatsoever. They gotta have noise. Many of us remember that the narcissist that we were dating or married to or what have you, a lot of them always had to have the tell lie vision on in the background all the time. And Jezebel, who gave birth to me, used to tell me that even when she leaves the house, she likes to leave that tell lie vision on for sound to come back to. She needs that noise in the background all the time. I think we understand why. So while those notifications are going out, let me go ahead and do our usual check here. We're going to talk about this, because demons, they noisy. Demons are noisy, right? I talked about that in a YouTube short, how insecurity is loud. Okay, well, this is just a branch off of that. Okay. Yeah, because, I mean, they can't stay quiet. They'll only for so long. How many of y'all remember in school? And, well, because we all had to stay quiet while the teacher was teaching. But once in a while you had that unruly child that just could not help himself. Okay, well, that's what it reminds me of when we are observing more and speaking less out here. And they truly are toddlers in adult body, and they can't stay quiet. Demons cannot stay quiet forever. Right? They just cannot. They can't handle peace and quiet. They can't handle it. I remember working in a toxic workplace and things were running nice and smooth. Nice and smooth, like very peaceful, in order, getting things done. And a couple of the narcissists, man, they just could not stand it. They had to cause some chaos by messing up some orders and getting some orders backwards. It was crazy. But I was like, yeah, okay, that's classic narcissist in action right there. They can't handle that. No, these demons, no. They cannot handle the peace and quiet. They can't handle things running smoothly for a long period of time. They got to get in there and they got to mess stuff up. They got to tamper with stuff. They got to poke and prod. They got to try and steal, kill, and destroy. That's what their assignment is, right? They're on assignment from the devil to try and do all that. And so we noticed this. And so as chosen ones, you're going to see it more and more as you get out there and you start getting the things that you need to do God's perfect will, what he called you to do. You're going to start to notice that, Oh, okay, so you arrive on the scene. Let's say you go to the beach. Oh, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. I want you to drop it in the comments below. All right. I want you to drop it in the comments below. You talking to me. You go to the beach and you're there for like a week. See what I'm talking about? You see what I'm talking about? They cannot stay quiet. And you know that's rude, right? Okay, I can't control outside noises. Y'all know that too. But that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. For the first couple of days or so, it's all hunky-dory, like on their best behavior. And then by that end of the third day, into the fourth day, they just can't help it. They can't help it. They gotta be their rude self. That's how narcissists are. They gotta be their rude self. And it is what it is. So demons can't stay quiet forever. But you've been at the beach, and let's say you had that vacation planned for a month, and you're there for 2 weeks. I bet you didn't think of it at the time, but I've been doing a lot of reflecting myself, because I was like, hold on a second, I've been on a trip before I even knew about all this, and I can relate to this, because I'll go to the beach myself. In fact, I went on a school residency. Yes, because we got pushed online. We had, instead of doing an in-person residency for my doctorate, we have to go online. So I said, you know what, then I'm gonna take a vacation. I'm gonna go. I took the time off work and I said, I'm gonna take my residency because it's virtual. So I said, I'm gonna take it to the beach with me. And so I did. And I said, y'all gonna know. And there it wasn't so bad. I did notice some noise, towards the end of the week when it got closer for us for yours truly to leave, but I never thought much of it as to why it got noisier than the first few days of being there. And so now I'm noticing it though as we are in business trip season, and I'm noticing it though. I'm like, wait a minute, this is a pattern. This is why I tell y'all, patterns tell a story. Don't ignore the patterns. Okay, don't ignore patterns, because you'll see within the first few days, okay, usually maybe first 3 days of you being there, but then by the end of that third day, because that's what happened in the previous place I was at too, is that for the first few days, but on day 4, yeah, that's when the noise and pestilence started to pick up. And I said, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. I said, it is what it is, because God instructs us, don't get concerned with all that. Don't let that distract us from what it is God has called us to do. I'm going to get up here. I'm going to give y'all this message. He put it on my spirit. God is a just-in-time God. But see, this is what we do, chosen ones. We don't allow that to stop us from doing what it is that God has called us to do. And it's not irritating me. I just know it's a hotel. It is what it is. I mean, we got toddlers and adult bodies out there. What do you expect, right? They're demonically possessed. They can't help themselves. They cannot handle peace and quiet. They cannot handle anything that is operating like as it should. They can't handle that. Think about the biological body. I mean, why do you think the devil targets our health as heavy as he does with radio frequency poisoning? Yeah, can't handle the fact that a biological body can function normally when left alone. And you take good care of it. You eat right, you exercise, and the physical body can do quite well functioning normally. But no, that's not that the matrix out there. No, they can't handle that. They don't want your physical body functioning like it's supposed to, like God created it to function. No, that's why the devil's using radio frequency poisoning to keep your ANS numbed and all of that, because he targets our health. That's why I gotta tell y'all, I used to think in the very beginning that it was just because I'm up here preaching the word of God. That might make the narcissist out here a little uncomfortable. Well, that's their problem. They gotta work that out. But they don't have access to God. Oh, well, they just gonna figure it out. Leave it to God. Let go and let God. And that's what we do. We leave them where they at. Leave them where they at. And we keep it moving. I say that a lot now. Keep it moving. And as we keep it moving, all right, we start to notice patterns. And it's just really intriguing. I think it's like something, the number 3 here seems to be a common denominator. the number 3. So like by the end of the 3rd day or on the 3rd day somehow, okay, into the 4th day. It might start up a little bit on the 3rd day, but then the 4th day, oh, for sure. For sure. And then you have to think about weekends. Oh yeah, because see, narcissists operate based on the schedule of the matrix. And so Friday night, oh, it's time to party, right? Well, for some narcissists, it's party night every night. But chosen ones, we get around that resistance, and you know, we're not going to let little moments like that stop us from getting up here and doing what God has called us to do. When God says, I got a message, I'm going to get up here and give this message. And I know that some of you fellow warriors are working later than usual this week, and I appreciate y'all letting me know that. And I know that you'll catch this on the replay, and I know you'll share some insight in the comments too, because it's something that we're starting to notice more of, you know. And the thing is, when you pay attention to patterns, you know, that's how the devil tells on himself. I've said this before. If y'all want to know who the devil is, just pay attention to how these narcissists behave. They're the one telling on him. They're the one telling us who the devil is with all of their childish behaviors, their rude behaviors. I mean, they're toddlers in adult bodies. This tells us that the devil himself is just a little toddler. Nothing to be afraid of. But he wants you to be afraid of him. That's why he uses all the intimidation tactics, right? Wants you to think that you're being punished, okay? Trying to punish you for no reason, right? Just like a narcissist did. So you learn who the devil is through the behaviors of the narcissist, because it's their demon spirit that are controlling their behaviors. It's their demon spirit that are dictating what behavior they engage in at a given time. And then the chosen one arrive, and it just irritates their demon spirit. They don't remember, the human host crept unaware. All they know is that our presence makes them uncomfortable. That's all they know. They don't understand that they're demonically possessed, and that's why. And then our light that irritate their demon. They don't realize that. They don't have a clue. All they know is they get uncomfortable. And then when they cannot get an emotional read on us, because we learn how to get control of our empathy and control of ourselves, that's all we can do, is control ourselves. We ain't got no control on the stuff outside. That's why I tell y'all, I know I can't control noise and pestilence out there, and I'm not gonna try. That ain't my job. Oh, I can only control me, okay, and that's it. And not allow them to get me to step out of character or anything, which is not going to anyhow. But I know that's a big part of what the devil's trying to do, because a long time ago, something like that would have irritated me, but not anymore. But you got to remember something about the devil. He lives in the past. He's always going to use the same stuff that used to work in the past, because it worked in the past. But he's going to keep on trying over and over again, okay, to see if it'll still work. And he's not even going to stick around to see if it still works. He don't care. He thinks it does. He's got that, it's the demon of assumption, right? He's going to think that it does work. So you let them think what they want to think, okay? Let these narcissists think that what they're doing is working, when we know the truth and God knows the truth. Like, oh, that again? Okay, whatever. That noise, it's just noise. It's just noise. And we know that a lot of the noise that they do with that, it's because of insecurity. And it's also because they're just being evil. They're being the bullies that they are. And it's just, wow. But noticing the patterns, how the demons just cannot stay quiet when chosen ones arrive. They just cannot. They cannot stay quiet when the chosen ones arrive. No, not at all. And it should not surprise you, all right, chosen ones. So when you do go somewhere and you notice it, it can be, let's say you go to, well, I mean, I won't use the store. That's not really a great example because you're not going to be there that long. But just pay attention, though. Pay attention. Because I've had it happen. Let me share this one more time, because this really happened. I was in Walmart, and I'm at the freezer section, and I'm looking at some stuff. And I caught it out of my peripheral. This narcissist, I could see it, but she got right next to me, stood there for a couple minutes. Like, you would think out of nowhere, but I saw it coming, because she was trying to get an emotional read on me, and it wasn't working. I was just sitting there going, wow. And she just stood there, but not for just a couple seconds, and then took off. because she couldn't get an emotional read on me, but it was just so obvious. And I said, wow, they do that. They'll do that. And then the shape shifting, oh my goodness. You walk by, chosen ones, you walk by one of those demonically possessed biological beings who happen to work in one of them places, and let's say you're wearing a shirt that says warning, expert narc detector, and they start to scrunch up their face like a monkey, and they start doing that shape shifting. Yeah, you don't unsee that stuff. He started making some weird noises, and I'm like, wow, okay, just, I mean, out of nowhere. And I was like, okay, I don't even know what radio frequency combination had him do that, but okay, it is what it is. And I was like, yo, hey, yes, you did. I figured you would get it. I was waiting as long as possible. But I had to get on here because right before getting on here, those people checked in, and I can hear through the vent in the bathroom here. I say, they dropping some stuff, and they loud. But that is what it is. They probably don't know I can hear it. I don't know. And then on and off today outside. Anyway, you know, that the noise, it is what it is. And demon cannot, they can't stay quiet when chosen ones arrive, and they don't know how to act when we walk by them in public places too. It's pretty amazing to witness, and I'm like, man, wow. So for a horrible, oh gosh, bless you as well. Oh wow, okay. I'm not surprised that they gave you a hard time today. Oh, prayers. All right, Chris, prayers. Yeah. Yeah, it's very, it get noisy in the spiritual realm. It's getting noisy. It's funny because I just dropped that YouTube short about how insecurity is loud and how narcissists are very noisy. I just dropped that. And I was like, okay, because, well, it's the truth. You know, like, it makes me think of when you're a kid. It makes me think of toddler toys that make all those noises. You know, the vacuum cleaner that would go pop, 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 whatever. And then other toys that would make noises and stuff. Yeah, that's what, it just reminds me of that whenever they start acting up like that. And it's because there's chosen ones on the scene. There's chosen ones around. And they can't handle it because chosen ones, we live in peace. Right? We are spiritually minded, living in peace. To be spiritually minded is life and peace. And so we're like, cool, we mind our own business, staying in our own lane. We ain't out here bothering nobody. No, because nope, we on the narrow path. We are following Jesus. That's it. And they can't handle that because we're not part of some chaos and drama, or, you know, trying to get to know them or what have you. No, that's not what we're here for. No, I'm here to get up here and serve the kingdom of God, to serve that God spirit in y'all. That's right. And so, yes, with the upside down socket, it sure is. I showed that on Patreon. I'm going to put that on Quora in the CD space because I think you're right about part of the reason why they did that, because it does look funny, actually. But I do believe it's part of that trying to induce confusion, because why? You know, like, you know, what I did, I was like, why? Why is that upside down like that? Why? You know, and I do understand it's the upside down matrix. We call it that for a reason. You know, when we were there with the narcissist and the low vibration, we were in the upside down world, well, the upside down matrix. And so I can understand that part. But I think you're right about inducing confusion, and so I think it's a great battling cognitive dissonance topic too. So I'm gonna put it there. I think it's just those things that if we were still hanging out with narcissists, we might not notice. Think about that. It's one of those little inconsistencies, you know, and I mean, everything else is fine. It's actually, this is much better than even the last two that I stayed at, to be honest with you. It really is. So, yeah. But where you're in a hotel and where there's noise, and it's outside. If it's inside, I try to find the source and see if I can remedy it. But typically, well, like if I have an empty water bottle and it pops, that's one thing. But you know, uh, it's just little stuff like that. But yeah, they can't stay quiet forever. They absolutely cannot. No, not when chosen ones arrive. And then well, you're in customer service, so if they know that you're a chosen one by your tone, your demeanor, and stuff on the phone, they can probably sense it through the spiritual energy, and so they they all start acting up. I don't know, but there's been some, I've been sensing it, and I said, okay, and when I was on my walk earlier today, I noticed, I said, oh, okay, hold on a second, it's Wednesday, it's early, it's awfully busy, so I said, I'm, okay, so there's some acting up going on in the spiritual, and, yeah, well, yeah, you would do regulations and everything, yeah, okay, it is. They do sense it on the phone. That's what I was trying to tell you. If they were giving you a hard time and you had a more challenging day at work, then that's why, because the demons are acting up. Demons are acting up in the spiritual. And that's when they start with the abuse. I don't discount that. That's why I was telling you, if they can tell, they can sense it. They can sense when we're not one of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they may not know we're a chosen child of God, but they can, well, their demon spirits do, but they may not. They just know that we're not one of them. Because they can tell by our tone, especially as we grow and mature. It's in our tone. It's in our demeanor. Because we're calm. We are at peace. And it shows. And they don't understand it. They can't fathom how we can be that way. And I have to say, his name is Jesus, saved our soul. And we made the choice to pick up our cross and follow him. So when God awakened us to all of the evil that we're surrounded by, that was our judgment day. We had a choice, God or narcissism in the matrix. So chosen one, we choose God. And that's the right way to go. And it's a narrow path. And so that's why we do have to be okay being physically alone more often, because that's what happens. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. We fine with that. We good. We good. But like somebody come around me and I can sense it. Like in the previous place, I share about that narcissist in the previous place I stayed. Okay, yeah, I share that on the Patreon channel, and I sensed it when I was checking out that other place. I sensed his nervous energy, and I was like, oh, no, you don't. I said, you go return to sender. I said, that ain't mine. That's it. That's his nervous energy. And so you sense that stuff. And it's like, we don't allow it to dwell, and we instinctively know that's not ours. That's not coming from God. That's his nervous energy, because he was hoping I would stay another week. Oh, no. Not in that, no. And then, right, the calm demeanor does irritate them, of course. They don't get it. They do not understand how they're calling you with an issue. They're probably like, oh, la, 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 right? And so they're expecting you to get all riled up with them. And when you don't get all riled up with them, oh, yeah. I'm not laughing at you or anything like that, but I'm just like, man, it doesn't surprise me. Yeah. Right, exactly. Thank you for pointing that out. It's not that we don't like company, but we're very, very selective about who company we will keep, because we are the company we keep, right? God tells us, yeah, be not partakers with the evildoers. And I'm going to paraphrase here, because he did say, he said, lest you become like them. Because a lot of us realize when we go through the transformation process, we're also unlearning a lot of narcissistic habits that we didn't realize we developed, ways of thinking, things that we were doing, because we were socially influenced. So that's how strong it is. So God knew that too, and that's why I said, we gotta be careful the company we keep, lest we become like them because of their social influence. It doesn't mean that we will become a narcissist. It just means, we did. We had to put away a lot of childish things. We continue to discover things that we need to put away and change that thinking and all of that, okay? It is a journey in God's reality. So as we continue to do that, okay, yeah, as we continue to do that, we just learn more and we start paying attention to these things. We're like, okay, this is spiritual, and all right, what next? And so it's so predictable. So it's like, it's like, okay, so I'm like, all right, so everywhere Chosen One goes, we're on business trip season. So I was like, all right, so a business trip for, a week or two here or there. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to know within the first week whether I'm going to stay another week or not. But it really, it's just, I always know within the first few days. I'm like, I'll know. And it also depends on the level. It depends on the kind. It depends on it just depends on some things. I have my my preferences, and I also have my boundaries. So yeah, as long as it doesn't cross the boundary, we're good. And I'm not going to tell nobody what those are when it comes to that, them not being able to stay quiet. Okay, so well, that's the thing. When you're in customer service, of course they do. A narcissist call with an issue, and they're expecting to get another narcissist on the other line to kind of play with them. Yeah, who will react like they do, and you can be quite authoritative. Don't play. Well, right. I mean, you are speaking to an adult, and so you expect them to behave like one. Well, you got to do what you got to do. After all, you're the expert that they're calling for help, right? So that authoritative tone, yeah, it probably does irritate them, I'm sure, because they can't stand the fact that you're the one that got the expertise that they have to call and request help with. So, right, you get a vibe if you want to stay longer or no. Oh, absolutely. I always wait. I've learned that I wait and I feel the vibes. I feel it out. And it takes a few days or so catch the vibe, see what the vibe is. And sometimes it's an overlap of previous vibes or a mix. And if it provides a cosmic balance, then that's all right. We'll go with that. We'll go with that. And I can sense that too, because it's a spiritual thing where God needs to keep the cosmic balance. God is a God of balance. Don't forget that. And so yeah, you got a job to do, and they want. See, that's the thing. Y'all got to realize that's what narcissists do. They like to try and downplay your position, especially if it's one that has the authority or higher up expertise that they don't have. They love to try and do that. They want to contradict it. They want to downplay it. They want to belittle it. It's what they do as part of their abuse. They don't want you. They don't want you thinking that. Well, yeah, they don't want you thinking that you know more than them, which we don't. But the reality is that they wouldn't be calling you if they knew how to fix it themselves, now would they? That's the thing. Okay, if they knew how to fix whatever issue it is they're calling your line for, right? They need your expertise for it. If they knew how to do it, they wouldn't need to call you. So I'm just saying, they don't think of stuff like that, though. Narcissists don't have self-thinking abilities. No, they do not have control of their own mind. Not at all. Not at all. So there you go. And I'm glad to see that you've got the right attitude as far as the job. And it's like, you've got a job to do. That's it. You got to go in, do the job, collect the bag, and then clock out, and you're done. That's it. That's it. Nothing more. Well, and there you go. That's it right there. Yep. We've got a fellow warrior, y'all. Yes, and I do. Yes, and she goes. Her name is Joy, and she runs Pink Girl Teaching, and yeah, she's doing that awareness of red flags and of narcissists, and she called them demon in meat suits. That's a great way to put them. Okay, narcissists being demon in meat suits. I want to make sure the credit is given where credit is due. And she said they're demon in meat suits, and I'm like, yeah, that's it right there. And they don't, and narcissists, yeah, they hate to be in an inferior position. They have that, yeah, they want to be in a superior position. Okay, it's that superiority, that mindset. They think that they should be above. And I'm like, yeah, well, if you knew how to fix it, then you wouldn't need to call, right? I mean, they don't think that, but they like to bully. And they get angry when you don't let them bully you. Well, that's too bad. Let them get angry. That means they got the demon of anger. And so do the job the best of your ability and collect that bag and leave. Clock out. Yeah, there you go. That's it. When you develop that mindset, you learn how to deal with them. And you're doing fantastic. I can tell already. Because, that's just the fact that they're calling you for your help. So, the old saying, right? I remember being told this, that don't, it's a metaphor really, but it said don't bite the hand that feeds you, right? Well, when they call for your help and then turn around and start dishing out abuse, that's exactly what they're doing. So, I mean, that's what they do. And it's a big part of it because of their double mind. And they don't have control of that either. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. James 1 verse 8. So keep that in mind. But yeah, and there you go. There you go. Once you get that mindset, if your workplace is toxic, okay, you learn how to deal with that to the best of your ability, okay? And we have a course at CHA Academy, BTBW, to help you do just that. And Chris can attest that, I mean, he's doing fantastic. And it just takes time and practicing those 5 tried and true techniques that I share with y'all for how to deal with toxic coworkers. Because if you're dealing with toxic coworkers or toxic customers, see, it goes both ways. So how you handle the narcissist, whether they're a coworker or the customer, okay, these steps that I've got in that How to Deal with Toxic Coworkers course can be modified for any situation, for how to deal with a narcissist in any environment, any narcissist, okay? These are just guidelines because I set that up for employers also who would like to implement that into their employee training package. So it does have a quiz, but the good news is you can take it as many times as you need to pass, okay? There's no limit. And the answers are in the PDFs and the videos. So if you're paying attention, you should pass quickly, okay? But that's at CHAacademybtbw.com. The link is listed below. And you got to click on all courses to find how to deal with toxic coworkers. Everything's already there for you. The short video lessons, PDF notes, everything's already there. It's already just waiting on you. And when you see the box on the landing page, okay, how to deal with toxic coworkers, okay, you'll see a box with an arrow. You have the option for a one-time payment or 5 monthly installments, whatever works best for you. And plus, we take several different payment options now for our courses at CHAacademybtbw.com. And there's also, right, once you get to the checkout page, you have the option of buy now, pay later, using like Carla and some others. Let me see, I've got it written down over here somewhere. Yes. Okay, yep. Klarna, excuse me. Yeah, the buy now, pay later, BNPL, using companies like Affirm, Afterpay, ClearPay, Klarna. Then also we take a wallet, Apple, Google, Amazon, and Link. And then make credit and debit card. And then also for in other countries, we also take EPS, Band Contact, Ideal, Gyro Pay, and more. So there's several different payment options to take that course. And again, you can use the one-time payment or 5 monthly installments, whatever works best for you. And you can download those PDF notes to keep for a lifetime to refer back to. And I highly encourage y'all to check that out, okay? How to deal with toxic coworkers. Yours truly had to do it. And so I share those tried and true techniques right there in that course for you at the Academy. All right, and they work like a charm. You got to put them in action, and you got to practice them. And eventually, you'll see. So we can say, congratulations to our fellow warrior for finally getting to where, okay, right, you have to work around their shenanigans. See, that's part of one of the tried and true techniques. You learn how to do that, so we'd like to give y'all a round of applause whenever you reach that milestone. That's right. There's your round of applause right there. All right. So, yes, and then the Canva course on CHA. I don't know what you are referring to as far as Canva course. I use Canva Pro to design the PDF and the course material. Okay. And then, yes, thank you. You're taking a bow. All right. That's awesome. Okay. And, well, a little quieter where we are. Yeah, it's just here and there. Okay, the outside noise and stuff here and there. Like I said, we gauge it to see, because the previous place that I was staying at before the last place, y'all know that was, I honestly, yeah, that. It's like, I don't know. They were worse than, well, anywhere I've stayed, really. I mean, and I was really surprised too to learn that they get away with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody would say anything, and I got to thinking, well, I guess they must be bullies, because bullies intimidate, and people won't say anything or buck up against bullies. So, not all the time. I mean, but I was just wondering why management or something there. I mean, because they would be, I don't know how late they would stay up being loud, because eventually yours truly would go into bed, but I don't know. And I said to myself, wow, they really, I mean, yeah. And then sometimes they would throw big little gatherings out there with a grill and like some tailgate party or whatever in the parking lot. And I was like, okay, I didn't know. I mean, that, yeah. So it was way different there, for sure. Okay, you talk about the Canva ticket. Oh, you're talking about, okay, hold on a second. You're talking about that, the live event. Okay, no, the live event, the online event that we did, Action Creates Traction, the ticket's still available because you get the unlisted YouTube link when you purchase the ticket. And so you can save that link. So for those of you who have, Chris, I know you attended the live event. If you are wanting that link again, let me know. I'll email it to you, because I know you got the ticket. I know you were there when we went live, and it's fine, because that's why I say that if y'all get the Action Creates Traction ticket off the website, it comes with that unlisted video link. So you want to save the unlisted video link, because you can go back to watch it. There's your value right there for the ticket. But yeah, it's available still. To put what you learn into action, because that's what you did with that course, How to Deal with Toxic Coworkers. You learned how to put some of those points in action to create that traction. And so now you're like, okay, it might have been, you're feeling like a horrible day at work, but you know what? It's all good, because you got through it and you handled it maturely, professionally, and there you go. So but it's available. Okay, it's available on the website. When you go to the navigation drop-down menu, you will see CHA's online events, and there it is. And we're going, listen, if y'all got any requests for an online event, something that you would like to learn about, something you need coaching with, drop that in the comments below. even on the replay. Or send me an email. The email is listed in the description below. And so we'll put together another online event for y'all based on what you need the most. Okay, what is it that you need coaching with? If it's in my area of expertise, we'll do it. If it's outside of my area of expertise, I'll find you an expert. Okay? That's how we roll. We're not going to leave you hanging. If it's not in my area of expertise, I'll find you an expert that can help you. Absolutely. I don't mind doing that. But if it's something to do with trauma healing, spiritual growth, how to deal with narcissists, evildoers, the Word of God, anything. Our movement, radio frequency. Oh, yeah. Combating radio frequency for healthier living. How to detox, anything. If, for an online event. I know we're going to have more, yeah. So I want to take some requests and get some ideas of what you all need. I want to make sure we do that too, okay? Yes, management should really set up and get the grip on all that. I know. I was like, okay, but they don't care. They don't care. That place operated with a large dose of narcissism in and of itself. Okay, so if you don't have that YouTube link saved, let me know via email, all right? And I will get it to you. It's still, for as long as that YouTube video link is available, you can always go back. If I tell y'all to save it, when you get your ticket, save that link. Because you can go back to it anytime you need to, all right? For that action creates traction. It's all about, it's a 1 hour coaching session. So for $90, you get access to a 1 hour coaching session with tried and true technique for how to put what you learn into action to create that traction. Traction is pulling power. We are pulling down strongholds. We're breaking trauma bond. When you learn new things, you got to put it into action to create that traction. And that's how things work out in our favor when we do that. So that's what I'm saying. For $90, you're getting a whole hour coaching course that you can revisit anytime as long as you save that link. Save that video link. It's there. Okay? And absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. But it's still there. It's still available on the replay. And so again, y'all drop those requests in the comments. What is it that you need? And we'll do another online event for because whatever it is that you're needing coaching with, I guarantee you're not the only one. And and so we'll do it same way. We'll do it the same way. We'll put it right on the website. You get you a ticket, and when you purchase the ticket, you'll get a download link. Save the link. Well, not download. You'll get a video link. Save the link, and you can go back to it as often as you need to. So there you go. And I look forward to it. I look forward to seeing what y'all need help with. I don't know unless you tell me. And then we also have individual consulting and coaching sessions every Tuesday through Sunday. Don't forget that too. Yeah. Yep. And on our website, for those who may not be familiar with it, we have Shop Pay. Yep, we have Shop Pay for you all. So anything $50 or more qualifies for 4 easy installments using Shop Pay at checkout. If it's $35 to $50, it qualifies for Shop Pay's Pay in 2, meaning 2 installment. Okay, that's $35 to $50 for anything. And that includes consulting and coaching session, individual, okay? Now the Bible study course. Well, we do Bible studies frequently, okay? And then especially on Saturdays. So I don't know. I mean, I think we're already kind of doing courses. So if you have a little bit more detail as to what you're thinking, put that in the email as well, okay? Or send me an email if you know what you're thinking behind that as far as a Bible study course. I have some other courses in the making for you all that go along with our movement, combating radio frequency for healthier living. So I do have that in the works. And it's all about, taking the best care of this temple for the Holy Spirit. That's right. That's what it's all about. And, and getting closer to God, that spiritual growth. Oh, yes. Getting closer to God. each and every day. Because remember, the closer to him we are, the closer to us he will be. Okay, there you go. Yeah, just to kind of give me a little bit more there, because I mean, we really do, we study the Bible regularly, more business type courses, okay, things like that. Yeah, because we do Bible studies in the Academy Forum. Yeah, you know how to drop those short Bible study videos in the community forum every week. So there's that. Um, but we'll think about it. We'll come up with some stuff. I'm talking about an online event. Not really being a course, but like more of a coaching session. So I can see, but we do that with Bible studies. We coach and consult with Bible study as well. So, you just be here on this channel Saturdays around 4 p.m. for the Saturday Bible study. God willing, of course. And remember, y'all, if I'm not going to make it live, I'll let y'all know in this YouTube community. Okay, I'll put a post up and let you know if I'm not going to be able to. Life happens. You never know. Okay, so sometimes God steps in and tells me to take a break. He said, take a break. So, narcissism survival course, like guerrilla tactics. Oh, I got you on that. Okay, I got you. That's a good idea. How to survive narcissism. Okay, that's actually right up our alley. Yeah. So we can do like a, not really, well, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But, okay, so online event brainstorming here. All right, so, okay. Right, okay, so how to survive narcissism. Okay, because it is a spiritual battle for the mind. It's a lot of mindset shifting and a lot of change that thinking and a lot of isolating and just really learning how to be okay physically alone more often. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, so that's that. We've got that. So like, I got you. And we're already doing a lot of that, how to survive part of the game of narcissism with combating radio frequency for healthier living. And so we've got the Patreon digital product line, and we're adding to that on the Patreon channel for that. So I give y'all the low sodium guide, medium sodium guide, and then I've also got the high protein, low carb guide, things like that kind of gets you started on how to, make better choices with eating as part of the combat against radio frequency for healthier living. So we've got that going, and we're going to bring more RF tips and hacks. I believe we've got 1 and 2 up. We've got more coming with you on that as far as like how to mitigate, meaning how to lessen the effects of the excess. If you find yourself exposed to excessive radio frequency and you might have a little too much salt inside your body, so we're going to bring more to you all on how to handle that and how to, get around that so it doesn't have, being aware of it is a big plus because that will lessen any negative effects. And then what you do about it. Okay, it's going to depend on some things. So we have that coming to you. And yours truly, tried and true. These are things that I've been exercising, like the alkalinity. Raisins and grapes are great to have on hand because excessive salt is highly acidic. And so you get exposed to too much radio frequency. It heats that up and you feel an acid burn. Well, a handful of raisins will calm that right down. There's your tip right there. Handful of raisins can calm that down. So you're not running to the store trying to take more chemicals, okay? And so there's more natural ways to combat this. So yeah. And then, well, the RFs, okay. I've got some stuff in the make for the Academy, okay? I got stuff for the Academy there, so I'm going to keep that separate. Yeah, well, grapes are dried raisins, yeah. So if you've got one or the other or both, I have both, but raisins, yeah. to keep on hand for that as well. And then, of course, you know, to eat in your oatmeal and whatnot. Okay, but that's great for calming. If it's a minor acid burn because you just got exposed to more frequency, then your body can adapt to, and you know you consumed a little bit more salt than usual, and you start to feel that discomfort. Blueberries will work too, alkalinity, and then green, you know, spinach, kale, you know, things like that. So to balance out the pH inside there a little better. We're never gonna get perfect there, but it helps. Okay, tried and true. So if it's a minor acid burn, handful of raisin, now calm it right down, and a little bit of ice water. Sip on it though. Okay. And so, but as far as how to survive narcissism, coaching event, online coaching event, yeah, I can totally see going with that. Absolutely. Citrus fruits, okay, they might be, okay, they are considered acidic, but I would tell you that grapefruit is great for sore muscles. So keep that in mind too. You know, we have balance, okay, balance, right? Well, for those who are in weight training, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Grapefruit is considered beneficial, and it works. Yeah, if you got sore muscle, you just feed those muscles. Feed muscle food, you know, spinach, kale. A lot of your alkalines are considered muscle food. Oats, oatmeal. And then, of course, protein, absolutely. And then creatine. And, of course, water. And rest. All right, so there's that. But yeah, and I think that, yep, I think that we are going to, I'll look into that, but I'm going to give it time for y'all to add your suggestion for a coaching event, online coaching event, in the comments on the replay as well. So I'll be looking out for those. And I'm going to make a note here. The Demons Are Noisy live stream, so I'll know, and to check, because I don't always get the notifications. Sometimes I have to manually go in and check for comment and stuff to get back to y'all. It just is what it is. It is what it is. And so, so far we've got How to Survive Narcissism for an online coaching event. Yeah, and so we'll go from there. I appreciate it. Thank you, Chris. That's a really good one. Absolutely, because I know there's a lot of people that be like, well, what do we do now, right? God awakened us to all the narcissism and the narcissist, and we're learning the red flag stuff, but what do we do now? I mean, how do you survive it, you know? I mean, okay, so we've got Jesus and God and the Holy Spirit, and that's working wonderfully, but what else? You know, like what else? Okay, so the revelation about the mind and thoughts. Okay, that's fine. Thank you for sharing. I love it when God does that. God does the revelation in all of us. Absolutely. God, I love it. I love it when he does that. So yeah, think on it. And you want to make it make sense. Yeah, no cognitive dissonance here. And I appreciate it. But and thank you for all your insights and sharing your progress with how you're dealing with the toxic workplace. And that's hope and inspiration for others. Okay, for those of you who are also still in a toxic workplace and you're trying to figure it out, you know, Chris is an inspiration right there. Okay, yeah, because he's handling it like a pro, and like he should. And like all of us should, we deal with toxic coworkers, with toxic customers, narcissists, period. And you just learn how to get around the resistance. You learn how to put your foot down, and you know, not being arrogant or anything like that. That's what they want, and you know how to get the job done professionally, maturely, and that's that. And hopefully are able to solve their issue, what they called for or what they came in for, you know. So there you go. Okay, so Great sense of gourmet. Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Great sense of gourmet. No, I've not had a lot to do with chefs and cooking or training or anything like that. I was taught how to cook, by my parents. And then, of course, I used to watch, cooking shows and things like that. But I didn't really, I didn't take notes. I didn't know. And I have cookbooks. Well, actually, I had cookbooks, and now I'm coming up with my own recipes. The blood type diet really inspires a lot of it. Like I said, now it's just a guide. I was on the blood type diet, pretty strict, but now it serves as just a guide because I realized that I'm not lactose intolerant and that I am not gluten intolerant. That all of those symptoms I was experiencing after eating those things are radio frequency poisoning symptoms. Aha. So, because radio frequency poisoning, when it is in excess like that, it will interfere with your body's digestive process. Of course. So, well, yeah, so we get around that resistance and pay closer attention to the portion, okay? And so try new dishes that I fancy trying every once in a while. Every once in a while, not all the time, obviously. I mean, we're trying to, got to keep this ministry rolling. And since I've figured out how to make a lot of my own things, I'll be bringing more of that to you all, especially on the Patreon channel. We're doing little short demos, and I like to include a story time surrounding what it is we're demoing, if there's one available, on how that came about. But I guess you could say that these influence that I had as far as cooking, the Jezebel that gave birth to me was big on that. I mean, she was big on all these different recipes and stuff. So there's perhaps some of that skill that I picked up from her, which is not a bad thing. And then just watching, watching those cooking shows and things like that, and then just kind of picking and pulling from different things and coming up with my own. Like, I didn't even realize kale or baby spinach to make a berry salad with honey and then some oats on it. That's your muscle food. I mean, I didn't even think, it just came to mind. I was like, let's try that. And I don't know, I'm sure others have done something similar, or maybe that combo, I don't know, but I hadn't seen it before, and it just came to my mind. So I was like, okay, because what I did is I read an article about muscle food, like if you have sore muscles from working out, because that's a common thing, it does happen. And so they get a little bit sore, so it's time to take a break, and you got to feed them. And so I was like looking up, how do you care for them? And that's what they said, something about, bananas, spinach, and berries. And I went, okay. So that's where it came from. And then I just put that little, the lactic acid burn, not really, well, no, we want that little bit of burn, because that way the muscle builds back up. But the muscle soreness is a little bit different. It's like after you're done and you've got your shower and you're just sitting there and you're like, ooh, okay, it's a little bit sore, but it's not bad. So to take it. Yeah, okay, so getting used to, that's it. Use your imagination with cooking and thinking about trying new meals. There you go. That's the thing about Chosen Ones. We do that. Think outside the box. There's a lot more food that pairs very well together than you would realize. Oh yeah, there's a lot more that pairs well together than what you would realize. And so we just don't, we're not following the crowd. We're just doing what we know we need to do for healthier eating. And I'm glad to see, well, okay, muscle tension, it's okay. That happens sometimes too, especially during the detoxing you're going to, because of excess salt that got built up there. So, yeah, we don't want to get stuck in a routine that leads to a comfort zone, and we don't want that. We don't want that comfort zone. Nothing grows there. All right, so that wraps this one up, everybody. We started out with how the demon cannot stay quiet for long. You catch that on the replay. And then we dive into some additional things that are available on the website. And we brainstorm a little bit for another online event. I look forward to hearing what you all need help with in the comments on the replay. And when we get ready, you will know when we are going to put all of that together, and you are very welcome. I highly encourage y'all to check out the playlist on this channel. We got something for all y'all, wherever you're at in spiritual awakening. Yeah, if you want to learn how to adapt to the new spiritual norm, we got a playlist for you. If you are still breaking trauma bonds, we got a playlist for you. If you want to know more about narcissists and their mindset, we got a playlist for you. All right, and then I highly encourage y'all to check out the short playlist. Got a lot of those. Okay, we got a lot of those, and we just keep on keeping on. We got to keep it moving here. Got to keep it moving. Okay, everybody, sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your continued support. Till next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father, and you keep being you in Jesus' name. Amen.